Hello YouTubes, what is up? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're doing something a little different. This has been requested by the comment sections. We're going to do a tier list of the Pokemon Unite official auto chess units. Now, I'm probably going to fix this up a little bit in post, but if I don't, I'm sorry. There's ads all over this tier list maker website. But alas, we're going to get into it, okay? They're kind of in a random order, so I'm just going to go through, give my thoughts on each of them a little bit, and yeah, get a tier list popping. First up, we have Cram. I'm going to put Cram in the B tier. I think for a 1 cost, pretty good Unite move if you chuck it on him. If you get an early 2-star Cramorant, especially in the water composition, it can do good work in the early game. It's not, you know, an S tier unit, but it's not bad by any means. I think the Unite move for Cram is its best ability, and then also does a little bit of crowd control, a little bit of stunning with its regular ability. Next up, we got Cinderace, Raboot, etc. I'm going to put it at an A tier. I think for an auto attacker, especially in the fire and speedster, it works well in both roles. You can kind of just plug and play, get auto attack items on it, and it'll do a good job again in the early game without even necessarily evolving it into Cinderace. I think a solid unit. Gengar's interesting. I think Gengar is around S or A tier, but very situational. Listen, if you 2-star Gengar in the late game, put good items on it, it's S tier. This is hard to do, actually, because with bad items, I could see it being closer to B or C. But I think I'm going to put Gengar in A. I think if you know how to play the game and you have at least some synergies with Gengar, especially if you get like a grass cash out or something, it's an A/S tier unit for sure. Alolan Ninetales is a D tier. And actually, I'm going to get rid of, I don't know how to do this. I haven't done a tier list in forever, but I'm going to get rid of F and E and just do D for now. One of the worst units in the game on this current patch, honestly. I think doesn't do enough damage. It doesn't do enough supporter stuff. The Unite move is pretty bad on it. It has to be like perfect situation to get any value out of this thing. The ice comp in itself is not great unless you get a chip. There's not much else I have to say about that. Wigglytuff, I'm probably going to put in B. Fairy early is good. You get the extra summon if you get a second fairy unit. It's got good CC. It's pretty tanky, especially for a 1 cost. I wouldn't go as far. Like in the late game, this thing falls off. Even if you 3-star it, I find Wiggly is not great. But the supporter synergy is good. Lines up with Umbreon, other strong supporters. Clefairy, good synergy there. They both have fairy and supporter. So I'm just going to say it's pretty good. Machamp, Machop, Machoke. Part of me wants to put this above Alolan Ninetales, to be honest. Right now I'll put it in C. I might move this down to D. It just doesn't do anything better than the rest of the fighting all-rounders do. Like, I think Charizard is better than Machamp. I think Urshifu and Lucario are both probably better item holders, better carries. It's not necessarily meaningfully tankier than any of those mons. So I'll do that as well. I kind of want to put it in D, to be honest. I just don't know what units are going to go in C. So I'm going to leave Machamp there for now. Absol next. Okay. Absol situationally, very, very, very strong. Especially if you get like an early 2-star or something. Its Unite move is very good. It's really good in the dark comp. But again, you kind of have to know how to play Absol, and it kind of needs to fit. I think it is going to go in A. Obviously, it's hard to rank like comparison, right? Because obviously Absol is better than Wigglytuff. It's a 1-star. I'm trying to compare like for its value, right? How much is it? I do think Absol is good. I'll probably order these at the end, but I'd put probably Gengar ahead of this and Cinderace ahead of Absol, just situationally how good they are. Obviously, in the dark comp, this is one of the key units. Very strong. We don't have an S tier unit yet. Oh, Slowbro isn't even in the game, so I'm going to check him down there. Mr. Mime, again, I think very solid B. Could possibly even go into like bottom of A. I think it's another really good unit. Can be extremely tanky with the right items. Only at 2-star and for 1 cost. And in my opinion, doesn't fall off as hard in the late game as something like Wigglytuff. So I would put Mr. Mime ahead of Cram. I'd probably do this for my order in B right now. Again, early fairy, great key piece to the psychic composition. top of B tier for sure. Venusaur, I'll probably go C ahead of Machamp. Venu's interesting. I mean, if you get all the way to Venusaur, it can be pretty good. There's just better item holders, better carries, better bomb units, better backline carries. Its abilities are kind of strong, but not that good. I know it's a one cost, but like in the early game, I'd rather like hit a Cram almost in my backline than a Venusaur. Obviously a higher ceiling. Okay, Unite move. I think I'm going to put it in C. Lucario, certainly A, I think. Really good if you get, again, an early 2-star Lucario. One of the few units with backline access in this game. Just really strong. Again, I'd probably put it ahead of Cinderace this way. Very essential piece to the Fighting All-Rounders comp. Pairs up really well with like Urshifu, Machamp. Even though it's like a boxing glove unit, I think that's a clear A. As with Eldegoss, really good tank. Obviously, you're not always playing Grass into the late game. Grass is kind of like an earlier comp that you want to get online early and stack up. But Eldegoss, a great unit. Really a lot of team healing. I'd probably interchange these two. It's tough to compare tanks versus carries. But again, I think Eldegoss is an A unit. I'd be on the lookout for those, especially after you get it 2-starred and evolved. Greninja. I used to think pretty highly of Greninja. It's a really bad Unite move holder. I think they need to buff specifically its Unite ability. Again, hard to compare value-wise to like a 2-star Cram versus a Frogadier, but I'd probably put Greninja like around here. Not as good as of a carry as you would want it to be. Again, though, the backline access really valuable. Fits into the water composition really well. You can even play it with Lucario and Rowlet in sort of a boxing glove situation. Yeah, could be stronger, but I think it's actually fairly balanced. If anything, some of these up tier might be a little overtuned. Crustle. I'm reserving S tier, by the way, I realize. I might shuffle some of these around, but Crustle's probably like maybe a little bit above Machamp. Like I might do this. Crustle is good early if you hit an early 2-star Crustle, but its rock synergy doesn't really do anything. By the time you get to Tyranitar in the late game, it's just like, why am I even fielding Crustle? But it's a decent early defender. Again, you don't want to put your Unite move necessarily on this. You can't carry with it, but it can get you through the early rounds if you hit an early 2-star, and it's just fine for that, I guess. Snorlax, 100% A tier. Probably, again, near the top. A lot of these forecasts are really going to be just good units. They're very versatile. You can just throw this in at the end game, even at 1-star, put some tank items on it, and it's ridiculously bulky. It could potentially even be our first S tier unit. I might even put it, I don't know. These two are close. We'll have to revisit that. But yeah, Snorlax, amazing, obviously. Charizard, I'd probably put definitely ahead of, probably the top of B tier for now. Again, maybe not in exact order. I'm just kind of trying to give you a vibe of where I think the units go. Really good Unite move. As soon as you evolve it into Charmeleon, it's actually quite tanky. Again, sort of a key part of the All-Rounders comp. Works well, obviously, in a Fire comp as well. And again, you get an early Unite move, you got a Charmeleon, that Fire Blast can do a massive AoE damage. And it's versatile, I think. Pikachu, not bad, actually, in the early game. Like, I'd probably put it somewhere like here. The problem with Pikachu is the comp it's in. Like, 3 electric is not great to run, and it's not going to, like, solve your problems. It's not going to be necessarily the comp you're going for. It can synergize decently with the Psychic comp. And, you know, again, if you get an early 2-star Pikachu, like, I'd probably put that very close to, if not above, Ivysaur. Decent early game item holder, I guess. I don't know. Don't have much to say. I think the electric units probably need to be buffed, with the exception of Zapdos on its own. So that brings us to Zeraora. Probably like around where Machamp is, I think. I've tried to make this work in Speedster comps and electric comps. Just doesn't feel tanky enough, or like it's doing enough damage. If you invest heavily into it as an item holder, it can be okay. I've done a couple lobbies that way, and it hasn't gone too poorly, but I think it needs something. I'd probably put it above Crustle, to be honest. Actually, this is sort of looking better to me. Zeraora is fine, but I wouldn't like base a comp around getting a 3-star Zeraora. It still falls off in the late game. It is what it is. Gardevoir is a really interesting one because I really don't like Ralts and Kirlia as a unit, but I think that's intended. I often don't even get Gardevoir in my games, to be honest with you, so I'm kind of unfamiliar. I'm TBD on this. If anything, I'd probably put it bottom of B tier. It is like necessary for this Psychic comp, I think early game, but it's not necessarily going to be your item holder, your damage dealer either, unless you hit that 3-star, and oftentimes this unit is a little bit contested, at least in this patch, so it's tough. Blastoise I'm definitely putting up in the S tier as well, maybe like somewhere around here. I think Squirtle is even strong. Wartortle is a good mid game, and then the end game, Blastoise, you put a Unite move on this thing, it's healing like massive amounts. Really super tanky. So I think it works in like all 3 phases of the game, where something like Gardevoir, like Ralts is just horrible early. And then maybe you get redeemable when you get to Gardevoir. Blastoise works as a Squirtle, as a Wartortle, and then as a Blastoise at the end of the game. You can keep this thing on your board the whole time. Really good in the water comp. Great like two cost defender. Not much else to say. Mamo is bad. Piloswine is bad. Swinub is bad, but Mamoswine is pretty good. So I'm kind of confused. Like, I would rather obviously have a Mamoswine on my board than like a 3-star Zeraora, and probably than a Venusaur. So maybe I put it around here. Again, Ice just needs a buff, and there are better defenders, I think, to cake. Like, Mime is better than Mamoswine for most of the game until you get it to a Mamo, and at that point, it's like, what are we doing? So I think I'm okay with this. Maybe this? I don't know. Probably this. Again, I'm not rating just Mamoswine. I'm trying to rate their viability throughout the whole game. Sylveon is fine. I don't have much to say. Like, it's obviously a good unit. It costs more than these other units. I'd probably put it like around here. It's a good damage dealer, but you probably again want other carries. Actually, maybe I'd put Sylveon like there. I actually don't think it's that strong. There's better late game damage dealers than Sylveon. I don't know why you would do it. You definitely want it. It has good synergies, Bomb and Fairy, but other than that, yeah. Rowlet, Decidueye, I'd probably put it at the top of B. Like, it is a really good early game carry. Just to throw back there if you've got nothing else. Its synergies are pretty good with Greninja and Lucario. Obviously, it's going to fall off unless you hit the Decidueye late game. The Unite move, not that good, but great auto attacker. Does tons of damage, actually, for when you get it in the game. And especially if you get like an early 2-star of this, you're kind of cooking. It's one of the units I'd be happy to have. These two are probably interchangeable. Let's leave Charizard up there just because of how relevant that composition is right now, but very good Decidueye. Serena, again, kind of like the Gengar Snorlax effect, just like 2-star this with good items and you are absolutely cooking. Like, it feels weird to put like Lucario above her because she is a better unit, but she costs more and you get it later in the game. So maybe I'd do something like this. Yeah, Serena, I might even put Serena in S tier. But we'll leave that alone for now. Dragonite. So another really hard one. I think in the right composition with the right items, Dragonite is S tier. It's crazy. Its Unite move is crazy. If you have good items, this thing can just carry you to the late game. Similar to Gengar, though, so it feels kind of unfair to Gengar. I probably would rather Dragonite than Gengar, but either of these two can just win a game properly itemized at 2 stars. I don't know. I guess I'll leave Dragonite in S for now. You guys can rip me apart for that. Just remember, these are just opinions, so, you know, it is what it is. Espeon. Really good in the Psychic comp. Can do a lot of damage. Takes a while to get going, but actually does a surprising amount of damage. I might even... I don't know. I'll probably put this like here. No, I'll put this right here. Yeah, like I don't know. Nothing really super special about Espeon. Even 3-star Espeon I've lost games with before. So there it is. I don't have much to say. Good in an Eevee comp. Good item holder. Yeah. Delphox. This one's really difficult. I think it is necessary to 2-star this thing in the Fire and Psychic comps, and can really even carry you in the mid game if you put a Unite move on this thing. Its Unite move does so much damage. Getting it to Delphox actually doesn't matter a lot of the time. So like I'm kind of overrating that mid game right now where this thing is absolutely clutch, but I do think it is A tier. Maybe like here. I don't know. These two are close. Like if you're going magic damage, like they're both very good units. I think I would do that. Glaceon is S tier right now. You can not have a single synergy on board with this thing, and it's 1-star and it does the most damage on your team. It's absolutely cracked. Not much else to say. Probably like one of the better units in the game, I think. If not the best damage dealer. And if you run speedsters, even just 2 speedsters or 3 or a little bit of ice, this thing absolutely pops off at 2-star. Amazing Unite move with tons of ZC and then tons of damage to follow it up. T-Tar is interesting. I don't like the rock synergy. I don't think it does anything. It is such a vital unit to the dark comp and can super pop off in the right situation. Same with all-rounders. It's good to have, but it's not necessary. It's not like Urshifu or something, where I feel like Urshifu is just like the necessary unit to have in that comp. T-Tar I'm actually going to throw down like probably here. I just don't think it's as like you can't just plug and play it in the same way you can with Dragonite or Gengar or Snorlax. I don't think, but it has a higher ceiling in the right comp, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do that. Obviously, the dark composition is really strong, but I think there are more key units to that composition than Tyranitar. Clefable. Clefable's super good. The healing is nuts. You got to 2-star it. I'd probably put like Clefable here. Clefable is, yeah, not much to say. I mean, it's a fairy unit. It's a supported unit, so its synergies are really good, especially if you're running that comp. Its healing is insane. It can make your front line like double, triple as tanky. Just a great unit. Zoroark, I think, is probably D tier. Zoroa is horrible. I probably do like this. Zoroa is horrible. Zoroark even, sometimes it doesn't even feel good when you hit like an early 2-star of this unit, which is annoying, to be honest. Like you want to feel good when you 2-star a unit. Obviously, again, in the dark comp, it's good. One time I got a 3-star Zoroark. It felt great, but that doesn't mean that it's a good unit on its own. I'm probably going to throw it down there and be okay with it. Needs a buff. IMO. Urshifu is another S unit. Probably like the safest, best comp in the game and the most essential unit in that comp. It's very like weakness policy, drain crown, survivability, and damage items, like a mix. It's just incredible. Works perfect with Lucario, Machoke, Machamp, any fighting all-rounders comp. It's easy, it's good, it's broken, it gets backline access with the Unite move. Again, it got nerfed, but I still think even post-nerf, it's one of the best units in the game. So there you have it. Not much else to say about that. I don't know. Lapras, I think, is S tier as well. Super good with its Unite move. Even if you don't put its Unite move on, super good at tankiness, healing, works perfectly in the water comp, synergizes with late game supporter units like Clefable or anything. Just great. Has the double water supported with Psyduck. It just feels like it was made perfectly. Could probably use a little bit of a nerf. You don't even need ice at all. It might as well just be a water supporter unit. Lapras is great. Umbreon is an S tier unit. Probably like here. I think Umbreon is one of the best units in the game for a 2 cost. It's tanky as heck. You put the Unite move on it. It becomes sometimes even unkillable at like 2 stars if you have the right itemization on this thing. Doesn't do a ton of damage, but like you can throw this in an Eevee comp. It works great with any of the supporters, and it is quintessential to the dark comp. You just got to feel good when you get a 2-star Umbreon early, especially with the Unite move. Like I said, it makes you not have to worry about your front line at all for a long time. 3-star Umbreon is crazy. Just one of the best units in the game. I'd probably only rank it under Urshifu right now. Leafeon is dog water. I do think it's worse than like Zoroark. I don't know what this thing needs. I hate getting it even when I'm running all-rounders. It is good to die when you're running grass, I guess. That's probably the best thing for it. I'd probably put it like here. It might even be worse than Alolan Ninetales, to be honest. Yeah. Buff Leafeon. Okay, Inteleon. This is a cool unit. You get it pretty late in the game as a Sobble, so it feels weird most of the time, but the Unite move is very cool. You get lots of mobility, tons of damage. Again, in the right composition, this thing is great. I think it's better than Greninja. It might even be better, like it's probably better than these units as well. I might put it at the top of B. I don't know, like it's hard to get Inteleon because of, you know, it's a 3-star 3 cost, so like that is not easy to do. Not a lot of people see that. But it's a great item holder. I think it's underrated, actually, how much damage this thing can do. It can hit backline access with its snipe as well, which is always super priority. Like, I don't know if it's better than these units, just because situationally, again, Delphox is here because of the mid game, right? Not because Delphox is better than Inteleon necessarily, but because you get a lot of value as a 2-star 2-cost unit. And the Unite move in the mid game, getting you through those middle rounds. And then last here is Psyduck. I think that's everything. A lot of these, I would love for these units to come to Unite, but unfortunately come to the Auto Chess mode, but they're not. Like imagine Scyther, Scizor, Dodrio. Oh, that would pop off, man. Or Dragapult, Mimikyu as a ghost, Trevenant. A lot of potential for this game. Darkrai. Okay. I guess Zapdos isn't on here, but that's fine. Psyduck. Oh, Psyduck. Psyduck's pretty good early. Obviously falls off really hard in the late game and feels like it's doing nothing sometimes, but it's kind of like a ranged tank supporter. Synergizes great, again, with Lapras, both water. You could even run this. Like, I find myself just plopping Psyduck in for that supporter bonus. Like it does a little bit of damage, it does a little bit of tanking. It's not great at anything, but Psyduck's pretty good. I would say definitely B tier, maybe bottom of B tier for now. Yeah, because I just think, you know, like what are you expecting? It's not going to get you through the late game at 3 stars. And maybe I punished Pikachu a little hard for that too, but I think it just fits into a lot more things than Pikachu does. I'm maybe biased as well. All right, let's take a look through. Try to reorder this. I think Ninetales is slightly worse than Leafeon. I think Machamp is better than Leafeon. I think probably Machoke with its second ability is better than Zoroark as well, and better than Crustle. Damn, Zeraora sucks. But let's just leave him at C for now. Venusaur is probably better than Mamoswine, all things considered. And Pikachu is probably better than Venusaur at the end of the day. We have Inteleon at the top here. This looks good. Espeon feels weird to me. I'm like, is Espeon actually bad? I might do like this, even. I think Espeon is a better item holder than Sylveon most of the time. And obviously carries in the late game better than Cram. So I'd probably do this. Cramorant's early game is really strong. And early mid game. Maybe I'd do this, just to split up the EVs there. Yeah, this looks good. Poor Psyduck. I guess he made it into B tier. That's fine. Okay, now we have A tier. I do think Gengar is really good. Snorlax, Clefable, these are probably interchangeable. All 3 of them, even, depending on the situation. So I'll just leave them like this. Looks like they're like looking at each other. Lucario is amazing. Serena is really good. Serena is a little bit more situational than something like Gengar. That's why she's like a little bit lower. Blastoise is great. These two are probably interchangeable depending on what you're looking for, what items you have, and things like that. Probably put Absol over Eldegoss and do this. Absol's really good. I'm not trying to shit on it, but I don't think it's as plug and play as some of these other units. So there you have it. And the S tier, like I would almost put Dragonite like among these as well, because again they're so similar. I just think Dragonite is tuned a little bit higher than Gengar and Clefable. Like Clefable's a support unit. Dragonite can just win you the game. If you have a bad board and you put in Clefable, it's not going to fix all your problems. Dragonite might with the right items. Same with Gengar, to be honest. Okay. Urshifu, Umbreon, Glaceon. Like these two may be interchangeable as well. Glaceon is cracked. You just get it a little later than Umbreon. I feel like Umbreon is just like, if you're playing around anything, Umbreon helps. It's so hard to kill. I think Lapras is a little worse than Glaceon. And Lapras will probably, I'll probably do this. This feels good because it puts Dragonite closer to Gengar. Anyway, that's it. That's my tier list. Let me have it. I love doing tier lists because everybody's got an opinion. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share this with someone you know so they can also go nuts in the comments. Love you guys very much. Peace.